How to win in life when you don't have talent. Ever since I was a kid, I understood that I don't have any talent. At school, I was not the smartest kid in the class, but I'm also not the worst. In the football team, I was never the best player in the team, but I'm not the worst either. And then I was in a band playing the guitar. I can play, but there were many others who are better than me. Talent is something that someone is born with, and I realized that I don't have any to begin with. I'm not special in any way. And because of that, I've had a very low self-esteem when I was young. I felt small and intimidated by people who shines doing what they do. I felt ashamed and embarrassed by my own incompetence. And then I thought the adult me would figure it out. The adult me would find a way to improve his self-esteem, find a way to find his talent, and just be good at something. But when I started working, when I was an adult, I still felt the same way. There were many people smarter than me in the office, and oftentimes I wonder, why am I even here? I don't feel like I deserve to be in that company. I don't feel like I'm good enough to be there. I felt the imposter syndrome creeping in. And after a few years of working, maybe 2 or 3 years, I felt tired of feeling this way. I felt tired of feeling like I'm the stupidest person in the room. I felt tired of feeling ashamed of myself. I felt tired of running away when things get hard. Because as adults, we can no longer run away when things get hard. So I don't want to feel like that anymore. So I accepted the fact that I don't have any talent, and I'll never have any talent. And it made me feel like it made it easier, because I know that I will never be the best at something, because there will always be someone better than me, and that's okay. This mindset made it easier for me not to compare myself to other people. It made my life less complicated. And I don't have talent, I will never be talented, but I can do other things to close the gap between me and the other people. I can work hard, I can persevere, I can be consistent. And I think the most important thing that changed my life is that I can be stubborn enough to chase my dreams. Because when I really want something, the rest is just noise. So I no longer compare myself to other people. I compare myself with my older self. As long as I feel good about that, as long as I can see that I've grown as a man compared to myself 1 year before, for example, that's already good enough, because it means I'm one step closer to my dream. So when you really want something, the rest is just noise. And talent is overrated, I think. I hope you find this insightful. And remember, it's not gonna be easy, but it's not impossible.